Hey guys, I'm back. It has been a couple weeks. I got sick and lost my voice. Well, first it started out like I sounded like a man, like legit a man. It's still kind of like gravelly right now. And then I lost it like to the point where I could only whisper, which I think my husband liked that a little bit too much. I was not able to obviously film a video because that would have been a good time. I have the most ridiculous haul for May thus far, but I wanted to do one before BEA, which I will be at BEA next week. I am so excited. This is year number 5, and I'm still so excited about it. So let me know in the comments if any of you are going to be there because I would love to meet you or see you again if I've already met you. So I'm going to do this haul super, super, super fast. Unbelievably un-Jamie-like fast because we know I talk and talk. So this is going to be bam, 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 super fast because I just want to get through them. Literally, I have 30-ish books from May so far, and that's a little bit scary. So we're just going to go really fast. First, we're going to talk about the books that I bought, won, or was gifted. First up is the new Sarah Dessen, Say Anything, which I've talked about in my last video, so I'm not really going to talk about it. I read it. I loved it. Classic Dessen, but also it's a little darker than some of the stuff that she's done lately. Love it. Highly recommend it. Good, complicated, family, friendship dynamics. Love it. Next up was The Court of Thorn and Roses. Got my finished copy. I got to moderate Sarah J. Maas's release party because she lives in my area and I love her. And so I read this. This was my first book I read in January, so I was so happy to have a finished copy. And I had so much fun with Sarah moderating her event. So I love this one. Highly recommend it if you like fantasy and paranormal because it's they're fairies, which I was not into fairies, but super into them in this, okay? Next up is one that I won, The Wrath and the Dawn. This is inspired by 1001 Night. It sounds like an awesome fantasy from what I have heard. So I'm super excited to start this. Next up is 1+1. My friend Hannah is a huge fan of this author, and I have been meaning to read her books. This is an adult fiction book. I've just heard they're super emotional and just deep and amazing. So thank you so much, Hannah. I cannot wait to hopefully become a fan of this author because I know she is so many people's favorites. Next up for review were some finished copies that got sent to me. A couple of them I have read, a couple of them I have not. So let's get to this. First up, Extraordinary Means by Robin Schneider. I read this a couple months ago and I really liked it. Everything about it feels contemporary, but it's not because in this world, tuberculosis is a disease that people are really dying of, to the point where they're putting these teens in boarding school / hospital, and they're there's a trial to help them cure it, and they're part of. It was so good. I really love this. I think if you're a fan of John Green, you will like this, but also I think if you don't like John Green, you can also like this. But this book would be one that I would give to people who want more John Green stuff, but it's not John Green. It's so good is what it is. Next up is Scarlet Undercover. This looks awesome for people like me who are fans of Veronica Mars and want more teen detective type things. Next up is 99 Days by Katie Cotugno. I loved her debut, How to Love. She writes such messy and complicated things so well, and I know some people have a hard time liking her characters because of that, but I freaking loved both of these books. 99 Days was so good. There's cheating in it if you don't like that sort of thing, but it's messy, complicated. It was so good. I literally just could not put it down. Next is Finding Paris. This one sounds so interesting. There's a road trip. It is about sisters and a sister who ends up ditching her sister but leaves a cryptic note, and so she drives around with a boy that she just meets to go look for her sister, and she has no idea where she is. But there's a road trip. So, and sister story. I love that. Next up is Illusionarium by Heather Dixon. I did not read her debut, but I've heard good things about it. This one, I've heard some okay things, to be completely honest with you. But it sounds so good. Steampunk and alternate worlds. It sounds so good. But we'll see. Next up, City Love by Suzanne Colsante. Suzanne is such a good writer when you want a light, fun, beach read, romance type book. They're definitely lighter type books from what I've read so far of her. This one looks really cool because it is set the summer before three girls start their freshman year in college in New York City. So for the first time, these three girls are living together on their own, no parents, no school until the semester starts. And I love New York, so I'm super excited to read this book. Next up is Tiny Pretty Things. This is set in a like uber competitive ballet school world, I don't know, but ballerinas and like lies and secrets beyond the facade of like pretty delicate ballerinas. So this sounds really good. Made You Up, and this is my current read right now actually, and so far it's very interesting. I talked about it a little bit before in my last video, but it is an unreliable narrator. She has schizophrenia, and so like you're constantly like, okay, is this happening? Is this actually happening? And you don't know what to believe. It's kind of frustrating, but like I really like that kind of thing. So far so good. We'll see how it continues for me. And The Secrets of Attraction. This looks like a cute contemporary but cute romance, but also it looks like there might be a little element of cheating in it, a girl and a guy, and she definitely has a boyfriend and they meet. I don't know, he's a musician. I don't really know that much about it, but it kind of gave me like attraction, cheating, not supposed to be together vibes. But the cover's really pretty. Okay, next up are some advanced copies that I received for review. One is Vengeance Road. This is like Wild Wild West. And like, can we just like look at this cover, please? Like, it is beautiful. It's like the Gold Rush, Wild Wild West. I just don't even know. Like, I'm planning on reading this soon, even though it's not out for a little bit. But I had to have it, so look out for this one. Next up is Don't Ever Change. This book is about a girl who is an author and she's always learned to like write what you know, but she realized she hasn't really experienced anything, so she decides in the summer to just completely shake up her life for the sake of writing. Next up is Truest. This looks like a really cute contemporary romance, but the reason I'm really excited about it is a longtime reader of my blog is the author of this book. And I don't know her that well, but like she's commented on my blog and we've talked before, and I'm just like really excited for her, and I cannot wait to read this, especially because it seems like we like a lot of the same like contemporary stuff, so yeah, look out for this one. Oh my god, I'm so excited about Cut Both Ways. Carrie is an excellent writer. I read her debut. I don't know why it's not coming to me right now. Oh my god. Oh! Sex and Violence! That was her debut. How could I forget a title like that? Sex and Violence. Yeah, her debut was so good. She's a great writer, and I cannot wait for this. This is about a boy who figures out that he's attracted to both his girlfriend and his male best friend. And I think it's going to be a great book about sexuality, and I am super excited about it because Carrie does not back away from gritty and raw and awesome. Next up is Not After Everything. It says it's for fans of Eleanor and Park, which I loved, so I'm always like such a sucker for those things. But it's about two teenagers who fall in love, and they both have like really not good family lives. I love family dynamics in novels, so I am really excited for this one. How many times am I going to say really excited? Like, every time, I swear. Really excited for all of them. Okay? Let's just blanket really excited. Next up is One. This is about conjoined twins. I have never read a book about conjoined twins. Have you? I haven't. And it's also written in verse. I am Sometimes I like novels in verse and sometimes I do not. Every Last Word. This looks to be a book about mental illness. I think the main character has OCD. And I've heard some really good things about this one so far. This looks to be a real emotional, heart-wrenching novel. It is about a girl who has an eating disorder and she's supposed to go to treatment for it, like rehab, and also like her brother recently died. So it deals with loss and trauma and stuff like that. And I think like it said in the summary that she caused his death. So this sounds like really heart-wrenching. Next up is Finding Audrey, which I love this cover so much. It's so cute. It is about a girl who after something happened, she starts to have an anxiety disorder. Looks like some family dynamics, a romance, and some comedy. I've actually never read this author, but I've heard good things, like if you like funny chick lit kind of stuff. So I'm really excited to read this one. Excited. Next up is Ash and Bramble. This claims to be the true story of Cinderella, and I love a good retelling. And the cover's really pretty. I hope it's not deceiving, because sometimes pretty dress covers kill me. Next up is You, Me, and Him. This is about a girl and her best guy friend who they've been outsiders, and this new boy comes to town and both of them fall for him. So it's like best friends or someone who could be potentially your soulmate. It looks really cute. I'm curious to see how the two best friends falling in love with the same guy works out. Next up is Hello, Goodbye, and Everything in Between. This is Jennifer E. Smith's next book. She writes some really cute contemporary stuff. It's about a girl and a boy who are trying to decide if they should break up before they leave for college, and so they kind of spend the 12 hours before they're both supposed to leave and kind of go through the relationship and hope something will like stick out to them, if they should just go on as friends or if they should continue to, you know, date and do the long distance thing. I like that it's set in 12 hours. I think those kind of things are fun. And Jennifer always writes cute romances, and I am excited to check out a new one from her. Next up is Very in Pieces. On the back it says for fans of Jandy Nelson, and like, you can't do that to me because there's not very many people who are Jandy Nelson. No, actually there's one, Jandy Nelson. So I'm a little bit nervous about that comparison. For me personally, because she's like an all-time favorite author, like it's hard for me to, you can't do that. But free-spirited, family, artist, romance, family stuff. I don't really know that much about it. I will check it out, but walking on eggshells here with the Jandy Nelson comparison. Next up is This Monstrous Thing. This is a Frankenstein retelling. Oh my god, The Unquiet, okay? Like, they just checked off some things here. For fans of Never Let Me Go, Orphan Black, and Fringe. Like, I just started binge watching Orphan Black, and I'm on the current season now, and that show is so good. So good. So instantly, I was like, oh. Because, yeah. Next up, we're just going to go, there's some sequels that I got for review unsolicited, and I have not read the first book, so I'm not really going to talk about them because I don't know crap about them. Tattooed Heart by Michael Grant, Messenger of Fear. Sound by Alexandra Duncan. That was like a really cool sci-fi one, I think. I just haven't gotten to it yet. Salvage, the first book. Until the Beginning. I actually plan on reading this soon. I think it's a duology. It sounds like a really good post-apocalyptic one. The United, which is the sequel to The Living, which I do plan to read. I have on my shelves. And The Death Code, the sequel to A Murder Complex, which I have on my shelf. I haven't decided if I want to read it yet. I don't know if it's really my thing. So those are some sequels that I have not read yet, and I can't really talk about or be excited about because I don't know if I like the first book. That is my crazy book haul before BEA, and I'm going to try not to get very many books at BEA because God knows I don't really need that many. So I hope I will see some of you at BEA. If not, you will see me for another video, hopefully soon. It's been real, friends, and I hope you're reading something good.